Hey guys, it's Roger, and it has been a while since I've made a video, so I wanted to put a little bit extra effort into this one. Now, a few things. First of all, I miss putting out videos. I miss reading comments. I miss talking with you guys, and it's been way too long since I've got a chance to do that. So here I am. First thing, the game you're watching is Sumotori Dreams, which came out a few years ago, but I finally remembered it and decided to download it and had a lot of fun playing with it. So that's the game you're watching. Second of all, the camera you're watching this on is a Canon 7D, which I just purchased like 2 days ago. Spent all my money on it. I have no money anymore, but this camera is gorgeous. I love it. It's so good. And now what I want to talk about is the story. Because, you know, you're here for story time with Roger. And over the summer, I did a lot. I went on tour with my band. I traveled around doing work both for my actual work and doing freelance work. And I got to meet a lot of people and have a lot of fun. And it was great. But I was so busy. I never had a free moment to myself at all. Now things are finally calming down, and I actually have a moment to do this. And so I have several stories from the summer. And the story that I want to tell today is actually, it concentrates on this one trip that we took. It's actually just one specific part of that trip. We have been working on a documentary, as some of you may know. Been working on a documentary about straight edge. We were asked by the head of a record label down in North Carolina to start working on this documentary, just shooting interviews, and then we'll piece them together. And so right now it's just a work in progress. It won't be anywhere near completion for probably a few years, but it's been great working on it. But we got asked to go down to Kentucky to hang out with Courage Crew, and Courage Crew is a group of guys that are all straight edge, and they have a group where they all have like a certain message, and they all hang out and they look out for each other and things like that. And then like once a year they like to get together and just all hang out, because they're all from different areas. There's like some from Chicago, some from Ohio, I think some from Erie, I'm not 100% sure. They're from all over. They were meeting in Kentucky, and we went down there, and it was in this nature cabin, and that whole trip was just ridiculous. Going down there, our instructions were really vague, and they said it was like in this park, and we got to this park, and we're trying to find signs for this cabin. It's like, what do they call it, a nature lodge, and we're trying to find it. No signs for it anywhere, so we just keep driving in a circle, and we have no cell phone reception. We have, we're very low on gas. We're actually, like, really worried that we were about to run out of gas. And at this point, it's like 3 in the morning, and we're all loopy as hell. Like, we started just riding on top of the van, like, just standing on top, van surfing, while driving around this park, just because we were so out there right at that moment. So, and then finally, after, I think we were lost for like 3 hours. Like, we got there at like 2 in the morning, my earlier time was off. We got there at like 2 in the morning, and we pulled up, and we see a bunch of guys with like neck tattoos, and we're like, oh, thank God, this is them. And we go inside, and nobody acknowledges us. Like, I think one guy turned around and said, hey, and then they just went back to having their conversation, and it was so awkward. It was like the most awkward moment of my entire life. And for like 5 minutes, we just stood there, and like nobody even like gave us the time of day. And eventually, we were like, hey, is Ron here? Because Ron was the guy that we were supposed to meet. And they're like, oh, I think he went to sleep. And then finally they started warming up, and we found out later that they're big practical jokers, and they had discussed that the next people to walk through that door, they were going to just completely ignore. They were just going to go on with their conversation without even acknowledging them. And it just so happens that it's us, who none of them have ever met. And so it just completely screwed with us, and they went with it for so long. And so that just like started off the whole trip of practical joking and having fun. And so we were all hanging out, we were like doing some work, and we got to go cliff diving with them, like leaping off this giant rock into some water, and had a blast. It was so fun, and we were like hiking and things like that. But the actual part of the story that I like telling is that night we were working and we were shooting some interviews, and came to a point where they had a group meeting, and we can't join the meeting because we're not part of the group. So they're like, oh, just go hang out, and you can walk down some trails or something like that. And it's probably like 9 o'clock at night. It's already dark out. So we go outside, and we're getting some stuff from our van. And we're trying to think of like where we should go. And right beside the inn, there was a cabin called the Sugar Shack. And this lady was there. And she comes out with her headlamp and a glass of wine. And she walks up to us, and we're like, hey, do you know of any trails nearby that we could walk down? And she just started like, like there's one over there, it might be good. But then she was like, would you like to build me and my son a fire? And we're like, alright. So we walked over, we built the easiest fire ever, because she had like dry wood and a fire starter. So we built this fire, and her name was Sonia, and her son Nick, or as his nickname was, Noodle. So we hung out with them and like cooked some s'mores, and we were talking about like advertising, because she had a business or a background in advertising. And out of nowhere, her son just like blurts out, he's like, I love Harry Potter. And we're like, whoa, big Harry Potter fan. And we're like, he's like, yeah, I love Harry Potter. Just out of nowhere. And then we start talking about other stuff, and he runs inside and comes back out with a wand rack. It's like this rack that has 2 wands on it. And so he like passes the wands around, and we're all like critiquing them. We're like, oh, I like this wand a lot. It's very ergonomic, and the weight feels really good. And we were like doing mock spells. I was like, Expelliarmus! And he was having a great time. And she was just getting drunker and drunker. She was drunk when we first met her, and then she started telling us stories about how she saw like Wu-Tang Clan when she was younger, and she did cocaine a few times, but only because she really liked it. That was her reasoning. She's like, I only did cocaine about 6 times, and that was only because I really liked it. And so we're like, this lady is crazy. And after probably like a half hour of that or so, she just says, hey, we have a hot tub. And the people that were there was me, myself, me, Matt, and John. And all 3 of us already had swimsuits on, and we were just like, hell yes! So we get in this hot tub with this middle-aged drunk woman that we just met at the Sugar Shack. And we're just hanging out, and she starts getting like a feeling for John. And she's like, you can come over, sit over here by me. And John's just like, no, that's okay. I mean, I'm sure you guys are picturing in your mind that this lady's very attractive. She's not. She probably was attractive back in the day, but not anymore. But she was still a lot of fun. But she was like, hey, John, you should come sit over here by me. And he's just like, no, that's alright. And so we're hanging out in this hot tub, and it was so fucking hot. I was in it for probably like 15 minutes, and I was about to just pass out, so we had to like get out of it. And then we're like, we need to go back. Like, their meeting's probably over. So we go back, and we walk inside, and all of the crew members' girlfriends are all just hanging out. And when we walk in, they were like, where have you guys been? You guys missed the party. And we're all like, psh, you guys have missed the party. We've been over at the Sugar Shack hanging out in the hot tub with Sonia. And they're like, ooh, did you find like some hot ladies over there? I'm like, no, some middle-aged woman with her son. And they thought it was like the funniest thing ever. And then Sonia stumbles over drunk while we got back to shooting interviews. She stumbles back, just like completely hammered. You know, straight edge people don't drink. That's one of the big things about straight edge. And she walks in just reeking of alcohol. She's like, "Where are the guys from Pittsburgh? They left the light on in their van." And they're like, "Oh, okay, we'll tell them." So the guy said that he felt drunk, just smelling her breath, which I thought was really funny. And so we went and we turned the light off, and then we hung out and had a great time. They were all such great guys and had such a blast. I'll never forget just hanging out in that hot tub with Sonia. And it's been a while since I've had a trip, and I kind of miss it. It hasn't been too long, but I miss traveling. I want to be traveling a lot more. So that's the end of the story. So I have a few things else. First of all, this hat, knitted for me by a friend of mine. I love this hat. Second of all, shaved my head. His friends and I made a pact that the first snowfall, we would shave our heads. And we did. And it feels weird. And I miss my hair. I also have my beard in a bag, so if anyone's still interested, I might just have that competition. I need to come up with something. But if you want a bag of my beard hair, you let me know. So anyways, I got nothing else to say. I missed you guys. I hope you guys miss me. I hope the people that watch this actually enjoy it. So anyway, you have a wonderful day.